Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys can hear me. Can I get some thumbs up from you guys? Brilliant. First of all, welcome to today's Zoom. My name is Staffan Liebeck. I feel that we have turned a corner the last days, and I'm so excited to get to experience, let's put it like that I know what the next 10 days only will bear in, fruit for us, and we will get so much information. We have been sitting, I have Aaron Steinkel with me here that will join me now also. We've been getting so much information with Aaron, so positive information. So we know that we chose right. We've been very, very steadfast on this. Everybody have asked us, what do we feel about these projects? How do we see them rolling out during the next, months and years and so on. And I can tell you guys that I don't believe I have been this excited based on who we've been presented with joining the team of Connect and Green and everything that will happen the next hours, days, weeks, months, and also years. Now, a little bit of information before I give over to Aaron, and then we will have Scott Lamoux with us also from Element. So if you just hold on a bit, Scott, we will bring you on shortly. So we will get updates on Element also. But guys, really, it's been fantastic. A lot of work of getting it to, to bring in our organizations into Connect. A lot of work still to do the next 2 to 3 days. Okay, but that's not a lot. But we are bringing in everything. I want to point out now for you guys that been now registering more accounts, that you haven't done before. And if you are a person that are on this call that have yet to receive your green, now it is also possible again to actually register an account on green. We just tested it, and it will be able also to be linked within the next hours. So please do that so you can get your nodes distributed for you guys. And it will be extremely important to do so fast. Why? There are huge news coming with green over the next hours, days, weeks, and months, like I said. And I am even more of the opinion now that green will be one of the absolutely most used, actually, with usability tokens, coins, call it what you want, over the next months and years. Aaron, do you want to fill in a little bit with what we've been experiencing? And we've been knowing each other for quite some time already, and we know that we are in the right place and at the right time. So please go ahead and tell what we've been experiencing.
Yes, exactly. Welcome everybody from beautiful Dubai. Still here for a few weeks and then back to Thailand. Then I go to visit Nigel and Staffan. They are both in Thailand already. Guys, few minutes. Why are we so excited? Maybe you think we have been bait, okay? Maybe we had the commission running. No. We all are in the same boat, guys. We are all in the same boat. But the changes in the last 2 or 3 days in Connect are bigger than the changes in the 4 months before. I repeat it again. The last 3 days for us changed more in a positive way than the previous 4 months. All of you, we are 100 people here, 108 people, all of you, everybody of you is already financially, I don't want to give up any promise, but I say it carefully. Everybody of you, if you have already your node running and you are smart enough to keep the coins, everybody of you is financially independent. The chaos what runs on globally is remarkable. Never ever in history there was this difference of so many billions and trillions of money and so huge poverty. But forget all this. Let's face our own reality, okay? Everybody of you is financially free. Everybody who has more of the nodes will be more financially free. I'm telling you this because at the end of this meeting, of this Zoom, after Mr. Scott, we will have our godfather in this structure, Nigel, telling you a secret. Well, it's not a secret, it's information. But this is going to blast everything what has happened in this industry, from my understanding. So everybody of you is already I know we waiting for this week, but we networkers have one DC. Sometimes we are a little bit too impatient, right? We had a call before with a tycoon of the energy market worldwide, and he explained actually, and I understood it. You don't have to be nervous for 1 week or 1 month. We are still with the Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency in the very, we are not even in kindergarten. We are primary kindergarten. So, and what we unfortunately, we panic, oh, I need to make money. I know we also need to make money, guys. But everything is set up now in a way that the next weeks will be brutal. I only say this word, it will be life-changing, industry transforming. And I don't want to take too much time. Just guys, be prepared what will happen now and use the time and get this extra fuel what we give you now for inviting your people, for motivating yourself and to turn the coin. It is light. Out of dark comes always light. Guys, we did something. The last 3 days changed more than 4 months in our situation. So from this, I want to give over the word to Mr. Element. Scott will tell us what is going to happen with this most attractive, from my point of view, most attractive project what we have in our Connect pipeline. And after Scott, there will come Nigel. Guys, please start to invite more people. We are 140 now. This is basically the start of the liftoff. Believe and mark my words. Scott, my word back to you. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, you know, there has been a real big shift. You know, I'm out here in Utah with the guys. I don't know if you guys have met the new green Jonathan Gibbs. Have you guys met him yet? Yeah. So yeah, I won't say anything, but I'm telling you, the excitement that you guys feel, I see it every day because I'm in the office with these guys. It is unbelievable. You know, because I'm Element, but I keep telling everybody, I got to get my house in order with green. Amazing things are happening, but I'll let you guys talk about that. But Element is changing rapidly, and we are, every time you watch the news, every time you turn on the TV, you see a new need for Element. You see what's happening in the world. You see that currencies are being devalued. You see that crypto is growing. You see that conflicts are about to start, and that people are looking for these traditional safe havens with precious metals. And so if it's okay with you guys, can I go over our presentation? I know some of you have seen it, but is that okay if I share my screen?
Please.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we're gonna go over Element. So obviously, you know, we used to be Digger, right? But we've changed our name because what our mission has broadened. The things that our blockchain is going to solve include all elements, not just gold. And so even our logo is changing. That the pickaxes you see there are being changed as well to be more encompassing and more broad. As the blockchain is continuing to change the world, and as there's more application, as people are realizing that the blockchain can change everything, we need to grow with that. We need to encompass this growth, this new market. And so we are growing and changing. And as you can see, even with you know, the users in the blockchain, so many more people are buying nodes and buying into the fact that they can contribute, that they can help, and as they do so, that they can be rewarded for that. And obviously, you know, for those of you who are involved in Gala, you see all the incredible changes, all the announcements now with Gala Music and all the artists that they are signing. And you're seeing that Gala, even though Gala had this explosion at the end of last year, this year is even more. They're changing, they're growing, they're adding in more games, more platforms, and Gala is truly, I mean, they're one of the biggest already in the world, and we get to follow in their footsteps. We get to the benefit of the same ownership team, the same technology, the same launch formula, but just with different solutions that solve problems around the world. And that's really where it has to start with us. We have to start with why. What is the purpose of your blockchain? Why should I get behind this? What problems are you trying to solve, and what opportunities does this create for me to be a problem solver? And that's really, when you think about it, you know, the best companies in history solved problems. And if you can solve problems that the world recognizes and that the world can get behind, you're going to have success. And so we look at our family of companies. This is only half of them. We're growing so rapidly with all the new blockchains and the new brands that we'll be announcing, which is excellent for you guys, because you're going to have new products constantly flowing for you to add, and new blockchains for you to be a part of, new nodes to be a part of. And it's really exciting time to be a part of Connect, just because we've got so many incredible products and projects coming down the pipeline. And but I'm the president of Element, and so and this is my background, and some of these problems that are out there, a lot of the world doesn't know about. And I don't blame people for not understanding what some of these problems are, because I had to find it firsthand. And so I'm going to show a really brief video clip here of how I got to know these problems are happening firsthand. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second here, and I'm going to change screens. So this is how I came to know firsthand about all the problems that are happening in the gold industry. This is just 2 minutes, so bear with me.
Test reports indicate their pit could hold as much as $60,000 worth of gold. But after washing their first 250 tons of pay gravel, they found just a third of an ounce of gold, worth just $550. To start sending money home to Utah, the last 750 tons in this pit must hold gold. Early signs indicate they are on the gold.
What we're seeing here looks pretty good. So 2 hours of work, we're seeing pretty decent results here for 2 hours, which means this gravel we might have hit a much better patch.
But just a few hours into their cleanup, Scott calls a halt to the wash.
Trap, yeah. Hear that? That's an excavator. The Chinese guys. The Chinese guys are coming back. Our neighbors here. Here come all their guys on foot. We had this place to ourselves. Now they're back.
Scott lost his first claim in Ghana to Chinese miners, and he's concerned his new neighbors could be about to bully him off his second mine.
I think the fight might be coming today.
It's the latest in a series of aggressive standoffs with neighboring miners.
Is this your land? Hey, he's going to tell you it's his land no matter what. What's he going to say?
Each confrontation has escalated.
You have a guy right here with a shotgun.
In a campaign of intimidation that has left the guys rattled. And now their neighbors are heading towards them in force.
As I was gold mining in Africa, I came to understand and to realize firsthand all the major problems that exist out there in the gold mining world. And I didn't really understand while I was doing it. It took me, to have to step away from my own problems, because I was there because I had lost all my money in real estate, and so we ended up gold mining. And so we were there thinking we were solving all our problems, but not realizing that we were part of an even bigger problem. And when you're out there mining in gold, and again, these are some other clips I won't show, you realize quickly the problems in the gold mining world. And the problems are, first and foremost, that you destroy the environment. There's environmental problems, and you could see there when the type of mining that we were doing, it's very, very rough on the environment, because you have to mine really close to the rivers, but it's also rough on the villages. It's rough on the people. there are so many problems. And until you actually see what a gold mine looks like, and the vast majority of all the gold mines in the world look like what we were doing. They're close to villages. They're in the Amazon. They're in Africa. They're in southern parts of Central America. And the harm that is done to the environment by mining is massive, and it really is a tragedy. But no, not many people know that. People did get exposed to it when they saw our TV show, and they see these campaigns designed to save the environment. And people realize, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that gold has such a negative impact on the environment because of the nature of how you find the gold. And so this is actually a mine in Ghana. And so this is what it looks like after you're done mining. You can see it's right there on a river, and it just destroys the earth. It really takes its toll. And there's not much gold that comes out of some of these plots, but it absolutely devastates these communities. It rips out their cocoa farms. It hurts their villages. But the people, they want the gold mining because they make a little bit of money, because they're so impoverished that even the short-term amount of money that comes from the gold mining, they'll take it. Now, when the gold miners leave, they're left with this. And this next picture here is in the Amazon where I worked. I worked in Guyana, and this is exactly what it looks like when you're done mining. And so the environmental effects on the world are horrific. It's tragic. There's only 25% of the Earth's gold is left. About 75% of it has been mined, and people will do whatever it takes. They're getting a lot more aggressive in their mining techniques. And so when you see firsthand what the destruction happens to the earth by mining, you automatically you start thinking about solutions and what can we do? Does this have to happen? Does it have to be this way? Plus, in the gold mining world, there's a lot of corruption. A lot of the gold that's being mined right now, in Ghana, keep in mind, 25,000 illegal miners from China are in Ghana. They're only there because the government let them in. And the government lets them in because they want the tax revenue that comes from it, and they have side deals cut. But the bigger impact is the fact that they're letting in countries that are trying to hoard gold. They're trying to centralize gold. They're consolidating their power because gold has power at the expense of these marginalized communities. And when these companies and these countries come in, they don't care what happens to the earth. They don't care what happens to the village. They're there to get the gold. And most of these countries are sending the gold and sticking it back in vaults. So here's an article from the end of last year that's talking about gold buying, how gold buying in China is leaping. You got to ask yourself the question, why? Why is China, Russia, all these countries, why are they hoarding gold? Because they see what's happening with the United States and other countries. They see that dollars and currencies are being devalued because of inflation and printing of money. And they know that if they control gold, they have power, because China right now, they're trying to take power from the US. They're trying to displace the US dollar as the world's international reserve currency. And they're doing that, and countries are going to look at China as more of a safe haven because they're taking all the gold and they're holding it. And they're not necessarily doing this for good reasons, right? Not that America's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but all these countries are racing to accumulate power through gold. And so they're doing it at the expense of all these other countries and at the expense of the environment, because gold has power. Everybody knows that, okay? And so what we're trying to do is to transfer that power, because right now, you guys know the golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules. And so when gold has power, and when it's only in the hands of a few, if the gold is being centralized, if you will, right? So we are trying to decentralize gold and give power back to the masses. We're trying to be the Bitcoin of the gold world. Bitcoin created this decentralized network to where wealth can be shared and can be distributed more evenly, and to where other people have access that weren't able to, right? So people who couldn't get checking or banking or didn't have access to certain economies, that changed with Bitcoin, because now everybody can have access. We are trying to do the exact same thing, but have gold and other precious elements as our backing. And so now here's another scary thing. So Saudi Arabia is considering accepting the yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. And look at the date on that. That's March 15th of this month. That's when this article came out. you're seeing a shift, and you're seeing a shift because of the gold reserves that China has. And so we see that this power that gold has is changing the world. Now we are going to change with that. What's happening right now, and again, obviously mining is dangerous, but the question we have for you and the point of Element is, what if blockchain technology could eliminate some of the problems in the precious metals industry? And the problems that I just mentioned, these are only a few of the problems. The environment being destroyed, countries consolidating and hoarding gold for power. These are only a few of the problems in the precious metals industry. But the blockchain, a decentralized network, can change these problems, can take the power away from the few. And it can do this because of the changes that have happened in the world, because of digital assets. Right now, everything's being digitized and they have value in the metaverse. People have these little NFTs, pictures of these apes or monkeys that they're selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars because people realize that digital assets have value. And that is the key to Element, is that a digital asset has a lot of value now. So what if you can transfer the power, transfer the value of gold into a digital asset? And that is what we are doing at Element. So how are we going to do that? Okay. First, we need to control elements. We need to control gold. We need to buy gold mines. Second, you need to verify what's in the gold mine, because that's critical to step number 3, which is digitizing those elements. Because if a physical asset can now have a digital value, everything has changed. And you guys are watching it happen live in real time, that everything is changing. Now, even look at Gala with Gala Music, right? Snoop Dogg, right? Sold his album as an NFT and has made $100 million with Gala Music because it's an NFT. Everything is changing in the world, and the gold and diamond and precious element industry is the perfect industry to put into the blockchain and to digitize those assets. Because the physical assets, it's great. Everybody needs gold. We need gold for jewelry. We need gold for technology. We need gold for a lot of things. But the majority of gold is just stuck in a vault as a stored value. Well, guess what? If you can create value in an asset that stays in the ground, then that asset will stay in the ground. So let's talk about how we do this, okay? So first, we acquire mineral rights. Acquiring mineral rights allows us to accomplish 2 things. Number 1, it makes sure that those minerals are not pulled out of the ground, okay? Now, some will still need to be pulled out of the ground because we still have to have gold and copper and all these things. But for all this gold that's being just stuck into a vault used for power at the expense of the environment, we are going to acquire as many mineral rights as we can. We've already started. We've got 19 gold mines that we've targeted that we're in contacts with in Ghana. We've got 2 gold mines in Arizona. We've got multiple gold mines in the Amazon in Guyana. And we are acquiring these mineral rights. Okay, so that number 1, other countries can't get them, other mining companies can't get them. Our blockchain will own these rights. Okay, so we've got mines in Ghana, Guyana, and up in Alaska with our partner. Next, we verify what's in the ground. You have to know what's in the ground if you're gonna transfer the value of an in-ground asset into a digital asset. You have to know what's there. So we scan the ground using these scanning technologies. We go do an assay report like you're seeing here for one of the mines that we have out in California, where they go in and they drill up, they pull up the cores samples and they test them, and we can find out exactly what's in the ground, because that's critical to the next step, which is digitizing that asset. So how do you digitize in-ground gold? There are many ways. Just off of that report, you can take that digital, that report, upload that information into the blockchain, and you've digitized it. And now you can transfer the value of the in-ground gold and create something that represents or replaces that in-ground asset. Okay, and that something is a digital reward, is our coin. And there are many ways that you can you can get that coin. Obviously, you guys already know the drill. You are node owners, every one of you on this call. A lot of you have many nodes. Joining our blockchain and being a node holder gives you the right to this digital asset by running a node, by putting your computing power into the blockchain, by putting it into the Element blockchain. But you guys are smart, you're savvy, you're early adopters, you know what to do. We are trying to reach a broad audience. We're trying to bring in more people because unless you have a big, robust network, there may not ever be a value for our digital reward. The more people earning the coin, using it, it creates a marketplace. And so we need to bring in more people, and the more people that are in this, the better it is for you as token holders. And so we need to broaden our network. We need to bring in more people. And so we're looking at this, who's had a lot of success? Well, Gala's had a lot of success, and Gala's into gaming. So one of the several ways that we're going to digitize the gold is through a gaming platform. And we know that if we can make in-ground gold be as valuable as above ground gold, the gold will stay in the ground, and we need it to stay in the ground. And to do that, we engage the blockchain. And obviously, here's my little slide that talks about how you digitize. There are many ways to do it. You take the gold, you create a digital version of it, you spit it out on the other end, and we hope that our digital version has value. But we are of the firm belief, we can't guarantee or make any promises, that the digital version will have more value than the physical version. Believe me when I say that. The digital version can be worth more than the physical version. And so we have to create a mechanism in which to digitize the in-ground asset. The in-ground asset staying in the ground solves a lot of problems for the environment, for these communities. It keeps power from being centralized by the few, and that digital asset is more widely available. So one of the ways we're going to do that is through this game. So this is a game that we've purchased from a guy named Todd Hoffman, who's a star of Gold Rush on Discovery Channel. He just started a new show. So what we're going to do is when we buy these gold mines and you find out where the gold is, then you put a game interface over those actual gold locations. So when the gamers come in and they play, as they find the gold that correlates to where the gold actually is on the real mine, they get rewarded for it in our digital token. And you can use those tokens for in-game assets. You can we'll have little towns just like Townstar or with Farmville, but it's going to be mining. So the physical mining doesn't happen. We mine it digitally through a game. And this is how one of the options. Now, if some people say, I'm not into gaming, I just want to run a node. No problem. Run your node, you'll still get rewarded. But in order to upload the results of these mines into the blockchain, we're going to make it fun. And we're going to have this game here to where our users can buy pieces of land. They can mine it. They can upgrade your equipment, using tokens and dig deeper and earn more rewards. And now this entire massive community is involved in verifying where the gold is, and they're getting rewarded with our coin. And now this game, before it was tokenized, had 1 million downloads, very popular game, but we are redoing this game, tokenizing it, and giving our users this experience of mining in the metaverse, mining digitally while saving the earth. Guys, it's a win-win. It's revolutionary. We believe that this will be one of the most popular games out there because we're trying to work out our association with Gala to where Gala is a part of this. We haven't cut our deal yet, but they're looking at it. And if they put this on their platform, it's a game changer, right? It's going to be one of the coolest games ever because people are earning the equivalent of their digital gold by playing this game. Now, when they have this, again, we got this game from Todd Hoffman. He's an owner of our company. He's an owner of Element. He just had his brand new show that was last Friday called Hoffman Family Gold. And he's currently in negotiations with Discovery Channel to wear Element on season 2. So if season 2 comes out now this show is seen worldwide in about 100 countries. And so if he's our spokesman wearing Element, we're going to have a lot of international exposure and legitimacy to us and then he's the one bringing the game. So there's some really big partnerships that we're working on with Gala and the game and Todd Hoffman. And we're really excited, to see those things come to fruition and really start solving some problems. But so back to the game. So you can earn your rewards by playing the game, or if you don't want to play, you just run your node. But when you earn those tokens, Aaron, you mentioned it earlier, you're going to want to hold. Most people, when you get your coins, especially you guys who are early adopters in nodes, most of you will hold the coins, or you can use them for in-game transactions to upgrade your equipment, or you can actually exchange. We're working on a program right now where you can exchange your coins for gold that has already been mined, for physical gold. So some people, you earn these coins in the game and you can exchange it for physical gold. And we're working on a program to do that. Obviously, not many people will do that because they want to hold it, because we believe that the digital coin will outpace the value of the physical gold. And I don't say that lightly, because that's a game-changing statement. Or you can spend your coins on an adventure, go on a gold mining trip with Todd Hoffman, or donate some of your coins to one of the villages. And a lot of that, we're going to be supporting these villages. A percentage of the node purchase will be going to support these villages. We're going to be creating NFTs. We're going to be working on carbon credits. So we're actually when we save the mine from being mined, the land from being mined, we're working on a program to issue carbon credits so that big corporations can come in, buy NFTs of sections of our gold mines, and to receive carbon credits for that. So there's so many different ways that we can go with this, but we just have to remember that we are doing this with a purpose. What is our why? What are the problems that we're trying to solve? And by solving these problems with us, you guys benefit. Now, of course, node holders, you earn your coins. We don't make any guarantees that the coins will be worth anything, but when you solve real problems and you have real utility for your blockchain, good things happen. And so, our blockchain will own the gold. So when you're looking at a company and you're thinking, okay, how do I know if this company has staying power? Well, you look at our past record with some of the other blockchains we've done. You look at the ownership. You look at the technology. But I look at what's on the books of the company, and because we'll have billions of dollars worth of gold, I look at that and I say, this looks like a pretty stable company to me. So we've got a great team. Myself, you guys have met David before. You've got Todd Hoffman. But what about one last thing, and I won't take up too much time, but what about the gold that's already been mined? How can the Element blockchain help in that process? Okay. What about diamonds and so jewelry? So there's a lot of fraud in the gold business. And one of the things that I found is, there's this great movie out there called Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio that talks about the problems in the diamond business. And so the diamond world has come out with this process called the Kimberley process. That's a process that proves if your diamond is a conflict diamond, because nobody wants blood diamonds. Nobody wants a diamond that came at the expense of a family or of a child who murdered or was murdered. And so there's this process that proves the origin of where your precious metals come from. The blockchain will solve all these problems. The blockchain will solve the supply chain problem all the way from the mine to the refinery, to the wholesaler, to the retailer, to the customer. And we blockchain that entire process. So if we dig up a diamond, they can use the Element blockchain to categorize that diamond to show that it's not a conflict diamond, that it has a certificate of origin, okay? Or let's just say you have a watch and you want to create an NFT for that watch so that if it ever gets stolen, it's registered on the blockchain. Or if you ever sell it, you can sell it with the confidence of knowing that it comes with the NFT. Or, and your buyer can go, oh, great, I've got a physical watch here, but it also comes with an NFT. The entire supply chain in the precious metals industry is going to be put on the blockchain. And we are working very fast to be the biggest player out there. We're working on our deal with Tiffany's right now to start our blockchain process with them. And then of course, we'll go to all the other jewelers all around the world, because there are tens of thousands of transactions that the Element blockchain needs to be a part of. We feel like our technology is the best. There are already a couple competitors out there that are starting this process, but we are working fast to beat them to it and to provide the best solution. The entire jewelry process can be put on the blockchain. So your nodes, we hope, will be very busy. We hope your nodes are processing and verifying a lot of transactions, cleaning up the world, cleaning up the mining industry, and cleaning up the jewelry industry. There's so many, there's tens of thousands of jewelry stores all over the world who need this process. And this is what we're working toward quickly. Our development team is working on this right now to put this system in place. And then we send our sales teams out there to cut deals with all of these jewelry stores so that we are a true solution. From the mine all the way to the finger, we are the blockchain solution. So blockchain technology can solve all these problems, but again, it goes back to our why. We are trying to help these marginalized communities and bring all people, because as you guys see this technology shift, it's going to create a bigger gap between the haves and the have-nots. And we want to solve that through our community. It takes a full community of a blockchain to solve problems and help communities who are being hurt. And so if we can bring them into this technology, everybody out in the jungles of Ghana has a smartphone and has a little chip you can put into your iPad or your computer that gives you cell service. So what an amazing thing it's going to be for us to be able to level the playing field, to give these people who've been abused by mining companies and by countries for so long, to get them into this new economy so they can thrive and decentralize power, decentralize money, decentralize the value of gold, and create a better world for everybody. And that's all I've got.
Brilliant, Scott. I have 2 questions that comes up. If you can fill me in on the number one is, what is the timeline for the nodes to start being possible to run?
Yep.
And then secondly, about the game, what is the rollout plan
Sure.
for?
So the as far as the nodes being able to be turned on, so some of the other nodes are turning on now. We're about 6 weeks behind them, so we're looking for about May for the nodes to be live and up and running. And then for the game, so the game rollout takes a little bit longer because they have to go in and re-tokenize it, and so we don't have a timeline on that yet. But that does take quite a while. It could be a year before the game is active, but your node right now, it's going to be running already. And you guys know in that first year is when so many of the rewards are made in that first year. So you're not missing out on anything, but we want this to be a large, robust community. And so about a year is when that game will be active and live. Now, the game already exists. It's already there. We're closing our deal on it this week with Todd to buy it, but it just takes time for the development team to retool it, to tokenize it, and then obviously to upload our mining map, with the game interface. And
Brilliant. I think that is what all the people wants to know, only so we know what kind of timeline
Exactly.
we have. Yes, I agree 100% with you. It is a matter of essence to be, from the beginning in it. And do you know when the price will be adjusted upwards?
We so soon, we always say everything on the price adjustment is imminent. So people were a little bit angry because the element price started at 2,500 instead of 2,000. That was not my decision, I promise, but it's still at 2,500. Now we've sold, typically they change the price. It's like $1 every time one is sold. We've already sold about 1,500. So the price should be around 3,000, but it's not. It's still at 2,500. And so I don't know when it's going to change. They could change it tomorrow. They could change it next week. It is going to change soon. We are fighting to keep that price down. And the other blockchains are mad because they're like, no, if you guys are cheaper, they're going to buy you. And I say, hey, we're the new kids on the block. But so it will change. I don't know when. And I'm not trying to sound like it's a sales pitch.
No, I asked for these facts, Scott. For these facts, I knew that it was more so than it was planned for. But that's good news. We want to thank you, Scott. Brilliant. And we know the plan. We have a May, guys, to look forward to be able to run the nodes. So take a note of that so we are not getting those questions. Inform the people that now is the time to get in with it. Why? Because we still have the pricing. And you will be from the beginning at the same time. Bring in more people, so to say. Secondly, the game, maybe a year, to be up with it. That doesn't matter. for me, I'm looking at value created, and it's brilliant to have these mining rights coming in. It's brilliant to put it on a decentralized blockchain. Now, guys, I would like to invite here a person that's been becoming more and more important in my life, Mr. Nigel Allen, to take us forward and speak about what was leaked out, the name already. And guys, I want to tell you guys, you're going to see after Nigel's presentation of that and information, why this guy really jumps in. Okay, and he's really jumping in, and I know why Scott is so excited also, because that is why Nigel, May, Aaron, Mike, all the other guys are so excited, because we see what will happen. So please, Nigel, can you enlighten our listeners here about what we have got to know? You should be getting...
Okay, can you hear me now?
Brilliant.
Okay, listen, before I speak, I just want to know, is Scott still here?
Yes.
I am.
Hi, Scott. I just want to ask you a question, because that was a great presentation. Thank you very much. And I think it highlights to everyone on this call one of the reasons why we're all here, because it's real. It's not like so many other so-called opportunities out there, which are really just smoke and mirrors. There's actually something real here.
Right.
I wanted to ask you a question. You're talking about, and I found it very interesting about the idea of going to Tiffany's and the jewelers, and as well as diamonds and so on, and basically turning them into NFTs. Do you see that as an opportunity that you will be extending out to the general public who've already, let's suppose you've already got a very nice watch worth $25,000 or $100,000. Will there be a facility for members of the public to use this as a portal to turn their valuable items into an NFT and maybe have it up for sale?
Yes, thank you. And I forgot to mention that. So we are building what's called our eVault. And the eVault is specific to anybody that has anything of value that they want to store in the eVault with an NFT created. So yeah, if I've got my father-in-law, his original gold Rolex watch, that he's giving to his son, he's going to put that in our eVault. So we're going to be doing that with some of our own personal effects first, but it will be available to everybody in the world, the Element eVault. And so that will be a very cool thing for us to do for people to create these NFTs for their
and I think this is fascinating because it gives us as members, as connectors, as we call ourselves, another opportunity to go to our neighbors, to go to our family, to go to ordinary, people who are not involved in the opportunity and say, here's a service you can use.
Absolutely. Thank you. I usually cover that, but I was in a hurry and I spaced it. So excellent.
No, it's all good. I mean, it's just my brain working. That's all.
Yeah.
It doesn't work very often. So,
So yeah, it's called the Element eVault. So for electronic vault. So yep, that's in development now.
That's awesome. Okay. And I'm, again, thinking ahead, maybe I'm out of order here. Is there some kind of possible tie up down the line with insurance companies? So your valuable Rolex watch is categorized on the blockchain as an NFT. So there's your certificate of authenticity. And so if it gets stolen, I mean, are there deals that can be done there with insurance companies?
Yeah. In fact, we've talked to someone came in our office last week with the idea to include the insurance companies because they were thinking that, you could get, because it's been registered on the blockchain, a reduced rate or incentives to work, with these insurance companies because we've taken that extra level of security. And the big thing with us is to make sure that the Element blockchain is available to pawn shops, to police stations, so that if anything is ever stolen, that they all have access to our system, so they can look it up and make sure that whoever's selling it has that digital right. That is the way that everything is moving. In the next 5 years, everything will be an NFT. It's going to change many, many industries, not just the mining industry, but so many industries are going to be changed because of blockchain technology. And it's all happening rapidly right now, and people are adapting to it. So
wow. It's exciting to see how this can develop going forward then, because I mean, people, who knows what an NFT is? People think it's a picture of an ape or whatever, but an NFT is really just a certificate of authenticity.
That's right.
That's lodged on the blockchain.
Absolutely. Yep. So,
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Scott. I
very
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So everybody who listened to that, I'm kind of speechless, really, because, you know, some of you have been in this journey with us for 5 or 6 months or 8 months or whatever, and I'm sure there have been times when you've been doubting your sanity and wondering, why am I still doing this? We're waiting for things to happen, and meanwhile, you know, Joe Schmo over there has gone and worked on some Ponzi scheme for 3 months and made himself, you know, $500,000, although he's having to look over his shoulder because the police are after him. That's another thing. But, you know, you're wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You know, why are we listening to this guy Nigel and this guy Aaron and, you know, Staffan and people? I mean, we could be off doing something else. Well, you're right, you could. But we're not, and you're not. And the reason is because I think we all see something here. And as one of my mentors said many years ago, Jim Rohn, you all know Jim Rohn, he said, if you could see what I could see, you'd be doing what I'm doing. And that's exactly where we're at here. And one of the things you can see here straight away, and you don't need to hear it from me, you don't need to believe me. Now, this is the beautiful thing. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take Aaron's word for it. You don't have to trust anybody. You can check for yourself. You just heard from Scott. You can check everything. It's got Todd Hoffman's involved. He's one of the owners. He's on TV. He does, you know, he's not hiding somewhere. He's a well-known figure. And what we've just been exposed to, just a handful of us, just introduced literally yesterday and today, are 2 new people who are going to be playing a very pivotal role in what we're doing going ahead. And don't forget, we are still very, very much in pre-launch. And I know you hate hearing that because you just want to be making money. And I hate hearing it too. But in the timeline of blockchain evolution, we're still, you know, in the Stone Age anyway. And so I'm going to have the pleasure of telling you about 2 people, and you're going to be meeting them next week. And the reason you're going to be meeting them next week is I want you to understand and try and see what we have in our hands here, and get everybody you can think of, everyone you've ever spoken to, everyone who's ever turned you down for an opportunity, get them on those webinars, those Zoom calls next week. Because unlike most companies, and I've been involved in the networking industry since 1985, okay? So that makes me like the granddaddy, the grandfather, okay? So, you know, I've been around a while, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, unfortunately. And what I can say to you is, unlike, I mean, I'm happy, you know, we can have a debate on this. I don't know what's out there because I've actually given up looking at other opportunities. But if you were to bring other opportunities to me now, I would want to know who they are, who's behind them, who's running them, who's putting their name to them. And I bet you couldn't find one that has the credibility of the people that we're about to introduce you to. So, for example, Scott just mentioned, he kind of gave the game away a little bit, of the new president of Green, okay? Now, the new president of Green, and we're going to show you a short video about who this man is and the kind of courage, is the only word I can think of, he has to embrace challenges. I'm going to show you this video at the end, but this new president of Green, his name's Jonathan Gibbs. Now, how many other MLM network marketing companies can you think of where you're going to be able to Google his name and say, Jonathan Gibbs, Forbes? He was in Forbes 2 or 3 times in the last 3 times. There you go. 3 times recently. Okay, Jonathan Gibbs in Forbes. He has built one of the biggest solar, it's called Solar Energy Today, biggest solar companies in the world, which is going to do a huge, I'm not even going to say the amount, IPO, okay? It's doing $1 billion a year. He's walked away from that. He's the biggest shareholder in that. He's walked away from that to head up green because he sees the incredible worldwide potential in green being possibly the most useful and used currency in the world. And I'll say that again, the most used currency in the world when they start to roll out what they're doing here. Now, out of all the 10,000 blockchain, well, they're not even blockchains, out of all the 10,000 cryptos and tokens that are on the market, how many of them can you name that you're actually using it for its original purpose? How many? Probably zero. Okay, you're going to see some stuff with green. So if you want to Google Jonathan Gibbs and Forbes, you'll see he's been cited in Forbes. He's an incredible overachiever. He was the #1 2 years running in ACN. If you remember ACN, the long distance telephone company. And he's still in his like 22, 23. He was a baby. This guy is unbelievable and an incredible person in real life. And he's going to be heading up green. So by the way, we know there have been some niggling issues with green, some software bugs here and there. And of course, that's all part of being in at the beginning. It's all part of this, being an early adopter. And it's frustrating as hell because you think, why the hell don't they fix this? But, they're trying to put out a fire out over here or whatever at the same time. But all of that's going to come to an end very soon. He knows what we need because he's come from our background. He knows what we need in terms of the customer experience. He's going to make green, and we're going to do the same with Connect, where you can lead with the customer experience. Instead of the technology dictating the customer experience, from now on, the customer experience will dictate the technology. And you're going to see some big changes in that. It's going to make it something your grandmother could use. Hi, Granny. So, anybody is going to be able to do this. And the other person we're going to, and so first we're going to show you a short video so you get an idea of who this guy Jonathan Gibbs is. Next, you're going to get a chance to meet him on this Zoom call, this same Zoom call next Tuesday. Put it in your diaries and bring 10 people each to the call next Tuesday, because you're going to be able to talk to people. You're going to be able to talk to your friends, your family, your co-workers, your network marketing associates with a feeling of pride because you've got credibility on your side. You've got credible people that you can not some, guy who's trying to hide in the shadows and pretend he's not involved. This is Jonathan Green, Forbes, one of the biggest solar companies in the world, throwing his hat in with green, and he's going to be telling you next week exactly why he's done it and why he sees it. And he doesn't need to work, by the way. He does not need the money. He's sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars of equity in his solar company that's going to go public. He does not need the money, but he sees something bigger here. Like I said, if you could see what I could see, you'd be doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to see what he can see, and I'm now getting even more excited than I was. And the reason Aaron and Staffan and me and some of the other guys and you have hung around is because we saw something here. Maybe we couldn't always put our finger on it, but we saw something here that wasn't like those other smoke and mirrors companies out there. Now, another man we'll introduce you to next week, the new president of Connect. Now, did you know Connect also has a new president, also a multi-million-dollar earner in the network marketing industry, an experienced earner, an experienced team builder, experienced consultant, experienced manager. His name is Steve Little. You'll be able to Google him too. Steve Little's got a huge experience in this industry. You understand, the people are now coming to us. The people who we need in our ecosystem, in our environment, are starting to be there. You're going to be able to proudly talk to anyone and say, yes, guess you know who our president is. You know who the president of Green is. You know who the president of Element is. You know who the president of Switch is. These are all credible people. And you know what? We know how hard it is. We do it ourselves. When you're out there trying to build a business in the MLM network marketing affiliate arena, it's hard because nobody believes you. There's no credibility. People have been scammed. We've been scammed. But now we've got credibility, huge credibility. And so mark these in your diaries. Next Tuesday will be the webinar, the Zoom with Jonathan Gibbs, new president of Green. Next Thursday will be with Steve Little, the new president of Connect, and both of these guys, we've had 2 calls with them yesterday and today. They get it. They completely get it. They completely understand what we need to make this work. Because we've been screaming at them for a few months, and I'll be honest about that. And it's been frustrating. But guess what? Our persistence has paid off. We're going to have the best management, the most credible management of any affiliate referral-based opportunity in the world. And when the founder of not 1, but not 10, but 17 blockchain projects that we're working on, or they are working on, when he said to me at Christmas, we're going to make this the first $1 trillion networking company, now I really believe it. We're in this for the long haul. So without any further ado, if you've got the video keyed up, I want to show you a short video, be about 15 minutes long, to give you a taste of the new president of Green, Jonathan Gibbs, who you're going to meet next Tuesday, so you can get into his head. You can understand his mindset. You can see the kind of man he is. And you know what? One of the things that's frustrated me in the networking industry over the years, I'll be honest, is I can't follow someone I can't respect. And, you know, sometimes I've seen these company owners of different companies where, you know, I join it because I'm excited and I like the idea, I like the plan. And then I meet the scumbag owner. I'm like, oh my God, I can't follow this guy because I can't respect him. He's, you know, I've got more talent in my fingernail than he's got. Not the case here. I can actually respect these guys. The new president of Green, the new president of Connect, I can look up to them. And that's what I need as a human being. In order for me to follow, I need to find a leader. And they are capable and worthy leaders. So I'm going to hand this back to Staffan now. Play the video. You get a snapshot, a glimpse of who Jonathan Gibbs is, and make sure you've got everybody and their grandmother on the call next Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nigel, and fantastic. I follow you guys too. Together we go to the top. Take a look, guys, from this one, and I can tell you Nigel is so right. I'm shaking from getting going. So take a look at what we will show you now and spread the word for Tuesday, guys.
Well, this trip has been a very special trip. It's been over 8 years in the making.
When Rex came to me and told me that this trip was finally happening, I didn't want to believe it because I had been dreading this moment.
Rex and I went to jump off of a bridge near Vancouver, Washington that Casey of Bungee.com owns, and he had built a platform that I jumped off of in Las Vegas, which was my first jump. And I asked Casey, I said, Casey, what's the best jump in the world to do? And he said, about 5 years ago, I bungee jumped off a helicopter into the volcano in Chile, and he showed us pictures. And I was just blown away. It just seemed like something out of a movie. It just seemed incredible. And I said, well, next time you go, you gotta take us. And this year, Casey called me and he said, are you ready to go jump? And I just said, absolutely, let's do this.
Years and years of anticipation and waiting and being on this list.
When someone tells you that no one ever has the opportunity to jump into a volcano and that you have the opportunity, you just go with it, you take that opportunity, and that's how I got to Chile.
None of us are stunt men or women, you know, none of us are extreme sport athletes. We're just people who really wanted to do something. You know, life offered this, and we wanted to say yes.
I joined the Air Force in 1982, and I was graduated from the Air Force 4 years after. I started flying combat planes, and then I moved to helicopters for 21 years, and I retired. And now I am doing crazy things like jumping in the volcano with some people.
I was leaving from San Francisco Airport. The rest of my team was leaving from Seattle and Portland, and they all made it on time. My flight was delayed by 5.5 hours. I'm in Houston, stranded. Everybody is in Chile, and the government's trying to pull the permits and shut everything down, and I just can't do anything about it.
We did the first test on Thursday, and Thursday night, I got a call from the Chilean FAA saying, are you the pilot flying over the volcano, throwing people inside? I said, whoa, yes, that's me. But we're not throwing people in the volcano. We have a procedure, this is a bungee, and we have all the permissions, and we have all the insurance.
So everything got completely changed. The schedule got turned upside down, and Casey made the call that Sunday was going to be the very best day for us to go with the most chance of having any interference.
You don't have a cargo, you have people that are alive. And if you do something wrong, like especially in the landing, or when they're gonna jump, you're too low, they can hit the ground. When the volcano is active, volcano ash could shoot down the engines. So we have little window to get in it and jump.
There was a lot of anticipation, there was a lot of buildup. As the helicopter started climbing higher and higher, I think we were about 8,000 feet in the air, you realize just how massive the volcano is. You can feel the cold air. I mean, there's glaciers below your feet, and those thoughts start creeping in. You know, just fear things. What if this goes wrong? What if this happens? What if the cord breaks? What if the helicopter crashes? Some significant things happened to me in my life, feelings of pain and sadness. I began living with the fear that I would always have those feelings for the rest of my life. While approaching the volcano, and the volcano is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, a natural human condition is there's fear that starts creeping into your body. And then there was this moment just sort of pushing those things to the background. And it was then I started just noticing how crisp the air was and how huge the volcano was and all the different colors and textures inside the cauldron and the lava. And I started to get really, really excited about what I was going to do.
They gave us a few safety tips of what to do, and next thing I knew, I'm hanging off the side of a helicopter, and I have my harness on, and I'm strapped to it, and I'm leaning back, and I have GoPros everywhere, and just ecstatic to be doing it, and really, in almost just disbelief that it's actually happening, because now it's happening really, really fast.
I definitely wanted to be there with him as a supporting role, and so I agreed to go and just watch and just be there with him. And when I ended up watching the footage that Casey had done, at that point I really did start to consider actually doing the jump myself, really because I didn't want to miss out.
You just like take off into the sky on the skid pad of a helicopter hanging outside of it. When you see the lava, that's pretty freaky. Like, something you consider is how close the lava is, and if you're gonna touch the lava, of course, or like if the lava's gonna like burp and singe you.
Holy cow, this is happening. We are moments away from them unhooking this cord and having to let go, having to jump.
had fear and I had anxious thoughts about the jump, but this whole jump for me is so perfect because I've been able to experience the manifestation of these things that I've learned over the last 4 years, which is our wills, they can override our thoughts and our emotions. And it was just the most amazing feeling I've ever had in my life.
The perception of what I was falling into, of course, settled in, and then it's just pure joy and just so much excitement that comes over you. In that moment, it all became worth it. The years of waiting.
I would do it again tomorrow.
All the way up until I got to the top, I was confident that I would actually do it. I just couldn't do it as soon as I saw that lava. The disappointment didn't take more than 30 seconds to set in, though. No matter how much I understood how the bungee cords worked and how many times people told me how safe it was, I watched every single person come back safely. And none of that was in my mind at the time. I just saw the lava and I saw my potential death. The second we started flying away and back, I was disappointed, I was relieved, I couldn't wait to get on the ground. I was sad, I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that when we almost landed the helicopter, I couldn't even look at anybody. I turned my head. All I wanted was for Rex to come and get me and tell me it was okay.
Sort of a sad part, a really emotional moment for all of us was when Yumi went up. When we saw the helicopter from her trip come back, we could see that the rope wasn't all the way down, so we knew that she didn't jump, and we knew how hard that must be for her. And so we gave her space when she landed, and you could just tell that there was relief, but also a lot of disappointment going on.
Everyone has their personal reasons for making this journey and their personal reasons for jumping or not jumping, and that was something that we, of course, all respected when she made the decision to not make the jump for herself.
I was really overwhelmed and shocked by how loving and encouraging people were.
I saw a beautiful, beautiful waterfall. And I talked to Casey. I said, well, we have to jump in this. And the next day we went in the waterfall and it's really, really beautiful.
I saw the bungee crew starting to kind of pack up and get ready to, they kind of had this sigh of relief, like, okay, their job is done, the day is done, the week is done, everybody's safe. And really kind of this relief. And I immediately sensed like my moment is gone. Like I'm not gonna get to experience what every single other person here got to experience. And I just felt sad. Didn't want to miss out. I didn't want to feel regret. I mean, bungee jumping is like an extreme sport, but for me, bungee jumping was it was a very spiritual moment for me. I didn't need renewing of faith, but I think letting go, just teaching your body to do the opposite of what it's telling you to do. So many things in life can tell you to do the opposite. The world is telling you to do the opposite, but it requires faith to see the other side. And that's like joy and excitement and adrenaline. And I'm just so glad I didn't miss out on that. I'm so glad I didn't miss out on that.
I was excited for her that she wasn't gonna have that regret. And that she got to experience something on a higher level, something more spiritual and freeing personally. So I'm happy for her.
When that helicopter came up and the cord was all the way down, the whole airport just went nuts. We just started yelling and screaming.
Yeah, I was just overwhelmed with joy. I was so happy when I saw the bungee cord fully elongated.
In the end, actually, the thing that really changed my mind was telling myself, all I need is half a second of bravery. I need half a second of bravery. I just need to be brave for half a second. And I told myself, anybody can do that. Anybody can be brave for half a second.
I was so happy for her to take that away. I know it's something she's gonna have just for the rest of her life.
I think I'm gonna be able to face my fears head on a lot easier than I could before. Absolutely.
It's an amazing life experience. When you're standing on that platform, that building, that edge of that helicopter, and you're looking down, everything in you is going to resist it. Everything in you is going to tell you, no, don't do it. Just like sometimes in life, you're thinking about a new job or relationship, and something in you is resisting. But that moment of letting go, that moment of making a decision in spite of the resistance inside to just let go and jump, it gives you something, it cultivates something inside you, it ignites something inside you that you'll be able to take with you for the rest of your life.